Hey guys, welcome back to releasethecraftin. Priscilla and Smokey here today to show off my new kit, a witch in the garden, which I would love to show you in a moment. Hopefully Smokey will get tired of the sound of my voice getting progressively louder as I sit here and talk to you guys about this kit. I'm really excited to bring it to you. I knew that was going to happen. This is kind of a fun one. It's more like, it's not a concept kit because it's a pretty straightforward kit, I think. But like, I had a concept when developing it because I wanted to do like a witchy garden thing, but it's also like about to be summer. So I was like, what a weird time to feel like garden driven. But I guess also a really appropriate time because this is like the season when all the things are happening, gardening wise, you know, flowers are blooming, plants are coming up. And I was just like, oh, I just feel super compelled to do this. So I'm going to go with that. But I didn't want to make it like a, here's a gardening kit, for the gardeners, more like here's a witch in her established garden, just chilling and enjoying the vibe. So I hope that that makes sense and comes through across the page here. And we're going to jump into it. And clearly we started out with my inspiration, who is now gone to sit farther away from me because my voice is too loud. I shout for these videos, guys. I don't know if you know. Or at least as close as I get to shouting. Just to make sure that I am heard, because I don't know how well the microphone on my phone works, clearly. No one has ever told me that I am too loud in my videos, so I feel like this is the correct volume. But we're gonna start with the inspiration because I saw this little cat picture and I was like, this just like puts me in the mind of my own cats when I chill out. I have a little tiny like garden on my patio. Patio or porch? I don't know what the difference is. I have a little balcony fenced in thing with plants outside, and I will chill outside with my cats, and you know, they'll hang out with all my plants and they'll look up at me like this and they'll get little head scratches. And that's just where I was like, this is exactly the place where you start a witchy garden like journal kit, is with a cat familiar, like looking up among all the flowers and the witchy things. So like, I really love this. I think you guys will like this. I went with a different style for this kit, graphic wise. I really love it. There's some really great like paper details and cat hair that just sort of join the chat. But there's some like old like crumpled up paper details to sort of give there some like interesting texture. And there's some crystals faded back in here and a bunch of really pretty wildflowers. This is also like really a fun thing to work on because it put me in a different like creative space, because I'm not used to working in flats, and I didn't keep it to flats because of course I had to add like some watercolor elements to it too. But I love this page. I think this is like one of my favorite like dual pages I've done, with like the sun and earth signs on there and these like crystals popping up. I think it's just a really beautiful page. I love the yellows in this kit especially. And then we have this sort of little like a cauldron hanging out here with this little spider drop background, alluding to the spider that is also like creeping around in this little witchy hand holding up her little tarot card, surrounded by flowers. I love it. I love the imagery. And then here's another really great one. We've got these like wise guardian type creatures that might be hanging out in the garden, you know, like maybe a daytime creature and a nighttime creature. They're framed or they're framing the runes in the backdrop, and I just really love the colors on this. So yeah, I got to have fun with yellow, especially on this, but I think there's some really interesting color combinations that I wouldn't have normally explored had I not chosen to go with a flatter palette. I love this page with this huge butterfly. This is one of those center pages, and there's a lot going on here, but I really enjoy it. Like, I don't know. Everything in my brain was like, oh, you should tone some of this back or knock it back, and I was like, absolutely not. We're gonna go maximalism on the page. And then this page is like one of my favorites too. I know I'm going to say that for a lot of these pages, but I love this little page because you got this little bat flying in, and he's like coming to check out this little tiny skull that she's like presenting. And it puts me in mind of like the house brownies, or like, you know, like a little garden elf or a gnome or something, that maybe she found them or they were living together, like cohabitating, and now she's offering it back to nature like after it's passed. Like, just a final farewell, and it's just such a sweet little idea, and I was like, oh, little tiny Fae skull. Like, I don't know, that's where my brain went. I hope that your brain also goes on a similar path, otherwise it's gonna be weird. And then I used a lot of these like really great graphically designed like inspirational things, because I'm thinking like when you're hanging out in your garden, you're usually out there to like boost your mood, right? So I wanted the kit to sort of reflect that and sort of like emanate peace as a feeling. So like you get that really peaceful, serene feeling as like you're hanging out in your garden. There's this little candle set up, and then this really nice spread that says you are magic. And I haven't done anything like that that's like super motivational quotes. Like I'll pop in a couple quotes here and there, but I did a bunch of pages like that this time. So this says show them what you're made of, with this really great like little witchy hand. And on the opposite side we've got like a lot of writing space with this really pretty like floral backdrop and some more spider webs, because of course you can't have a garden without having spiders. And this says you are capable of magical things. And then there's just a stack of like really cool little witchy books, and then of course Dark Shadows, you know, for the real ones out there. And then this one says we are not alone, and it's got that little planchette. And we got our little bat friend again with some more journaling space on this side. Here this one says trust the path unseen, and I love this little snake guy. He's super cute. In this jar we have like the fireflies coming through, and then just a little tiny like plant arrangement with the pentacle in the background. I really love this. I think it's like it's a different color palette, definitely. It doesn't look like anything else I have in my shop, and I really just am enjoying like embracing some spring, summer type colors. We have this really great spread. This one says magical vibes, and there's some more journaling space here. So there's a lot of like symbology. We have the triple moon hidden in the background of this writing space. This side says you are magic, with our little kitty familiar friends again. And then another centerfold page. This says as above, so below. And I love this layout. I love like the owls being the above, the rabbit down here being like the below connection, as well as like sort of the symbols of like the way that the moon and the sun are connected all the way down to the earth. Like, I love it. I think this is great. I think it's like, it's kind of overtly witchy compared to some other stuff. But it's also not super witchy. It's just a little witchy. But like, it's medium witchy. And I really love that. And so we have our little crow guy here hanging out in the garden. There's some like pentacles like tucked in there. And I love this page. I love the paper textures especially. Those were really fun to work with. And then we start on the backgrounds, because unlike my regular kits, occasionally I'll do like a background page set separately, but this time I decided that like I'm just exhausted by Etsy's like listing fees and how that works out. Also, making Etsy listings is also emotionally draining for me. I'm a big baby, there's no reason why. So I did the backgrounds and I just included them in this kit. So as opposed to in the past where you would just get the 15 pages, and then if there were backgrounds available, you could buy those separately. They're included. The cost is like folded into it. You don't have to pay as much because I'm not having to pay like extra for Etsy to list it. So it's all folded in there. It's like a big little mega kit. And the same thing for the add-on kit. I like added 8 more pages than I normally do to the add-on kit, so that's a bigger sized add-on kit. So you get a lot of ephemera in the add-on kit, and you get a ton of pages in the background kit. So this is one of the backgrounds, and just a really great paper texture. And then I printed the other backgrounds on the backs. So we'll go through here. So here is another one of the backgrounds. It's a little bit misprinted because my printer low-key hates me sometimes, but you guys get the idea. It didn't cut off the image, just like a fraction. But just a really pretty butterfly background. So there is now a ton of writing space because there's all these really great backgrounds to work with as you go through here. I love this page too. I think it's going to make a really great like folded cross-section thing to see in your books. And we got another one with some of these like pretty like torn up edges of paper to add some visual interest. And then, you know, like behind here, behind the torn edge, are some more flowers. We got our owl guy hanging out there. So like I said, it's all background pages, so they're all muted down so that you can write over the top of this if you want to. I know it's hard to write on top of things with faces, but you'll manage. I know that you can. And then here we have a very subtly graphed paper. I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up. It's super subtle. Like, I don't think it's going to pick up. But there's some really pretty flowers in the background. And some more of those wildflowers on this like coffee stained page. Then we have some line pages that are still coffee stained as well. And then another one of these really pretty yellow pages with some runes and some bind runes. Another line sheet, which is some pretty florals. And then it's this page, but I did knock the eyes back like I should have when I did the butterfly in the first place. But I do like this. I think this makes it easier to write on, because that's the whole purpose of having background sheets. Not that I have to explain that to you. That was my explanation to myself. And then we have this really pretty like crystal spread, because you can't like celebrate the earth and all the things it gives you without celebrating like the crystals, right? Crystals come from the earth. Same thing, same concept. They grow in a fashion. We have another really nice background sheet. This one has really great staining on it. And then here you can see the grid layout here. There is a little graph paper background with these like differently little like, I don't know how to describe it, whited out a little bit. A little different contrast on those flowers. And then we're back to our background sheet. And that is the entirety of the pages portion of the journal kit. Sorry, my brain shut off. And then this is out of order, but it's unrelated to the actual journal kit. So this doesn't come in the Witch's Garden. It doesn't come in the ephemera either. This is a separate little just word sheet of witchy ticket quotes that I thought like corresponded to, because I made the backgrounds kind of matchy, but the quotes are distinctly witchy, about witches, and don't really have anything to do with the garden, so I didn't include them in the kit, but they will be available separately as well. And then in the ephemera kit, I did some stuff. I did some work. April has been asking me for cover pages, like, since I started this entire endeavor. So I did one. I'm going to see how I like it. But I thought this was a cute idea to knock over stuff behind me. Just to have, like, a big cover size sheet. You don't have to use it for the cover. You could just use it as a regular journal page. It is, like, journal page size. It holds. You're going to have this little white thing here. Ink that out. It's fine. It'll work as a journal page, though. Or you can cut this out and use it for the cover, and then you have a back cover if you want. This comes in really handy if you're making like a soft cover journal. I think it will work really well. So there's a cover page with a little title on it, so you can get the point across, I guess. We have some jumbo tags with, of course, I couldn't not, because this was the page I started with, so it was my favorite. And then our little witchy tarot reader. And then we have a little tarot card for the moon with these mushrooms coming through. I didn't use these mushrooms a lot in this kit, but they felt very appropriate with the moon tarot card. And then over here we have our little snake friend hanging out with the moon itself on these other large like jumbo card style tag thingies, whatever they're called. And then I did some work. So we have this giant belly band. It is going to be the same size as the cover pieces and the pages, like in the journal pages. So this is the same size as that. So I was thinking you could have a giant belly band, or you can use this to be the spine of your book if you want to have it like wrap around, cover up stuff, whatever. It's also spine size, so you have that option available. But, you know, it's a strip of paper. You can do anything with it. And then I added in some of these like info tags. So you have this side, which is all herbs that are solar related. Obviously, it says it right there. And then this side is all moon herbs. And so you have the herb and then what it's used for listed under here. And then in the background, there is the sun tarot card that came with this and the moon tarot card. So you got a little info to pop in there if you want to have some gardening info in your Witch in the Garden book. Same thing on this side is a bunch of garden deities, just for that like little bit of useful information. And then some gardening with the phases of the moon on this side, and another giant belly band spine cover, whatever. And then we also have these little tiny potion jars, little apothecary jars. I think they'll make really cute tags. I really love how these came out. I think they're really sweet. Before I would have put this as a separate listing, but it's a part of the kit. So you get this in the ephemera kit. You know, all these little spell potion things. You could write down little like spell ingredients, little notes to yourself. You could put like an oil or a recipe or something about like one of your favorite herbs on here. I think it's really versatile. There's a lot of really interesting things you can do with this. They'll make really cute tags too, just to go with the kit. And then we have a envelope and a couple of pockets. And then we have this one. This is new-ish. Yeah, this is new. I haven't put this in any other kit. We have these like little floating style pouch pockets. So they could be like on the page or just as something you pop in free floating. And then this is also new. I haven't done these before. So there are these like, there's these really pretty little tags with these little tiny vignettes in them with the little moon background. And then there are some frames here, so if you wanted to frame something or make like a framed window pocket, you got little frames to cut out here. And then there's a couple banners. And this one says Garden Witch, and this says Magic from the Ground Up. So, you know, if you want to have like a cool sentiment that has like a little bit of flair, you can pop that on there or use it as like your, I don't know, the sentiment for your cover if you don't use these cover pages. And we have a big envelope and an upside down page. So we have a larger envelope here, some tiny little tags with some little magical symbols on it, and then some circular tags. So of course we have a little crow buddy, a little snake dude, and a little rabbit friend. And then on these like little big chunky tags here, we have the elemental symbols. So on the backgrounds, we have backgrounds that kind of match the colors. I tried to keep it matching the kit as opposed to like the solid color. So fire isn't red, it's pink, and we're just gonna have to go with that because there was pink in the kit. But you have all 4 elements, and then they have the symbol, and then in the symbol is a flower that matches the color. So I think that's really fun. They're really fun. I really like them. I think these ones came out really great, so I'm excited to use those. And then we have another page that's upside down. So here we have a couple of labels, and then we have some little tiny banners that say Grow, Garden, and Bless. And then we have a larger banner tab here, a couple of tabs here, and then this large like journaling card. It could be a flip up. I think it makes a really good like top tuck spot of this girl like reaching out to her little rabbit and the friend, and like he's running happily towards her. It's really cute, and I love it. And then we have 3 of these large long tags. Long? Yeah, they're longish. they're this size. That's long. And they have some quotes on here. So here, this is a quote that says, "To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow," and that's from Audrey Hepburn. This one says, "Flowers don't worry about how they're going to bloom. They just open up and turn toward the light, and that makes them beautiful," and that's from Jim Carrey. And then this is "Flowers are the music of the ground, from Earth's lips spoken without sound," by Edwin Curran. So those were the little gardening quotes I added in because I didn't want to do a full sheet of garden quotes for no reason. I just didn't want to. And then we have a little triptych trifold type tag, a little tiny coin envelope style pocket, and a couple of tickets. And then we've got this like large envelope, like pouch envelope style pocket. So that's really cool. Pouch, envelope, pocket, pocket pouch. That's what it is. And then we have some of these corner tuck spots here, and then a couple of banners. And I like these. I think these are really cute with the fireflies and the cinnamon. And just a little peek of the crystals and that little sun symbol. So those came out really nice. And then we have some more belly bands. These are more like traditional styled. And then a little pocket here with our owl friend. Oh, and then if we come around here, we've got these little badges. I don't know what they're called. We have these shapes that make really interesting little tags, or like you could pop them on top of belly bands as like a little thing or onto your little clusters. I don't know. They're cool things just to use for fun designs. You got a little spider guy and a little skull there. Because it's not just all about growth. Sometimes things die for other things to live. It's the circle of life. We watched that movie. We all know it. And we have some file folders. Little tiny file folders. And then we have a little floating pocket. And this little like eye label. And a large journaling card. So you could back that. And then have like this cool picture on the front. And then some writing space on the back. Or you could use this as like a little pocket. And like tuck stuff in there. And then we have this like sort of tickety style. A little long tag here. And then this is actually an envelope. And I keep saying that. And I might show you guys afterwards. Because people keep asking about it. But a lot of people use it as like a little side tuck thing. And that's cool too. It's whatever you want it to be. But it is designed in my brain to be an envelope. And then the last thing we have, I just included it with the kit this time, are the little garden-y style moon phases. So if you want to use some moon phase tags, there are some moon phases. If you wanted to journal about gardening with the moon, you have these cool shapes that you can cut out, pop them in there, and then write down like the corresponding thing that you do during moon time in relation to your garden. And because I said it, I'm just gonna cut this out and show you guys this. Because people keep asking. I get messages in my Etsy about like, how can you show me how to fold all the things? And I keep meaning to make that video, and I don't, because I forget. But then every time I see this particular like envelope, I go, oh, I should really do that video. And I don't, because I forget. Because ADHD means out of sight, out of mind. But yeah, that is the entire kit. So I hope that you guys really like this as much as I like it. I'm really happy to bring it to you. I think that it's got a lot of fun uses outside of just being like a garden kit. You know, if you have like a witch in your life, or you are a witch in your own life who likes flowers or planting or just, you know, chilling outside with nature, this might be like the kit to get that across. You know, if you find yourself surrounded by a softer witch who likes, you know, pretty florals and things like that, I think this would be up that alley too. I do like the style, because like I said, I'm not used to operating in like flat color images like this. My preference is watercolor because my artistic medium of choice is watercolor. But yeah, this was just sort of like a fun departure from my normal style. Blech. So, to make the envelope, you fold one side up, and then you fold the other side down, and you can make it however big you want. And then you just glue the sides, and you have a little envelope like this, which I could have folded better, but I didn't. But yeah, that's how this is supposed to look. You can do whatever you want with it. It really works, however. But that was my demonstration. Eventually, I will show you guys how to fold everything. I think one of these days I'll do a video like that, because people do ask me about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, totally. And then I'm like, what was I doing? And then I just move on to whatever next happens in my brain. But yeah, that's it for me, you guys. I'm gonna go before I start rambling. I will say if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate your faces. And if you are looking forward to when I start my Patreon, I'll be announcing that very soon, because I'm working on getting it all set up right now. And I'm gonna keep talking about it for a while, and probably forever, because that's how you get people to know that you have a Patreon. We're looking forward to it. I'm excited. I think you guys will like it. There's been some questions about what I'm going to offer in tiers, and I'll do a video on that when I actually like set it up and am done with all that. But as far as like journal access or things like that, I'm not going to be offering journals as a tier. I just don't craft fast enough for that to be a feasible option. It wouldn't be fair to people on that tier, because you'd have to wait like a freaking year to get anything out of me, because I'm so slow. But I will say, like, you can look forward to getting a bunch of like freebies, early access to videos, exclusive video content, exclusive freebies, stuff that like would come to the shop that might just be free. if you're on Patreon, and then I'm going to do some more witchy content on there. But as far as like what that's going to mean for the channel going forward, nothing is going to change. I'm actually like trying to have more content available for you guys on the channel, not just like shuffle it all off to Patreon and be like deuces to you guys here on the channel, because that's not my goal at all. My goal is to use Patreon as an avenue to make it a money so that I can do more videos on the channel. There's so many things that I want to do, like so many avenues I want to explore and things I want to share with you guys that I just like don't have the time to, but also like don't have the financial ability to. But if I did have that support via Patreon, I'd be able to justify making those kinds of purchases to share things with you guys. Like, I want to explore, you know, new artistic mediums and new art supplies and things like that, and I can't do that because I can only go from what I can afford. So if I can afford more, I can do more, and that's kind of the idea that I have behind Patreon. And plus I want to offer like witchier content in a space that I have more control over, that's a little bit more like exclusive, so that I don't have to deal with like a bunch of random trolls or people being weird, and I can just share like the stuff that I enjoy with you guys. And I think it'll be a great way. I'm gonna set up a Discord and stuff there too, so there'll be like exclusive access and like private chats and stuff that we can hang out on. I'll do lives on Patreon, things like that. It'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Just trying to like be mindful of how much time and energy I spend like devoting myself to new projects so that I don't get burnt out trying to do everything. But I think it's going to be really good. I think you guys are going to really like what I have in store. I'm very, very optimistic about it. And then as far as what's coming up on the channel, of course, we've got Storycraft. That's going to continue going strong. I do have some small form videos coming up, which might be something I'm going to try out, see how that goes, see what the response to those are like. And if that's something that's like successful or people enjoy, then I'm going to look at exploring like that every month, like exploring an artistic medium, but like in smaller format videos that are also kind of witchy. So we'll see how that goes, and then we'll see if I continue to do that. But look forward to those videos, because there's going to be a bunch of them coming up here pretty soon, this month. And I can't think of anything else that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, I'm going to jump off here. I appreciate your faces, guys. I'll catch you all in the next one. Until then, happy crafting. Bye!